catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.
I have to tell you, good evening, good evening, good evening. Wow, what a day, what a day, what a day. Listen, let me tell you something. Life is going to throw curveballs at you. And when they throw them at you, you just better be ready. Because tonight, man, we done had some curveballs. But we're going to get this party started. We wanted to do something for you special tonight. We got a hip-hop legend that we want to show you. And he is in the building. And we definitely want you to see what we got going on for you. You may recognize this face. Let me show it to you. This is what we got going on tonight. We have a hip-hop edition. We have the legendary DJ Cool in the building. And for all of those that took their time and getting over here, I want to thank you so much. And we are here. It is finally here. So without further ado, we're going to get this thing going, okay? So right now, I want to start out by just saying thank you so much. And I appreciate you. Let me start by bringing you up in here. Good evening, sir.
There you go. We are live.
Man, oh, man, oh, man. You know, you got to have faith. If you don't have faith, when stuff like this happens, you will lose your mind. You understand?
That's right.
And so tonight was definitely a test for me and for everybody out there. And, you know, patience is a virtue. So I just want to thank you. How are you doing on this evening, sir?
I'm fine. I mean, after we got through all our little technical difficulties, you know what I mean? I'm good.
But you know what? In show business, in entertainment, you know, there's an old saying, and that is the show must go on. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of times people don't understand that you have to be made for this because these things do happen. You get on stage, the mic don't work, the speakers don't work, somebody don't show up, you know, it's always something. So it just that's what it's all about out here in not only hip hop, but in the entertainment industry. So it takes somebody strong and determined to do this. So I want to ask you first and foremost, for those who don't know, the very few people on this earth who may not know who is DJ Cool. Please tell the people a little bit about who is DJ Cool. Do you mind? I could go by your name, but I didn't know, you know, some people don't like being called by their name. So I didn't want to call you by your first name. Okay, see, that's why I didn't, you know. But tell the people, I know you're from DC. Tell the people a little bit about your background before you even got known as DJ Cool, the little boy.
I was very much into sports, a full sport athlete coming up. In my mind, I wanted to play point guard and shooting guard for the LA Lakers in the 80s. But God was like, no, I want you to be DJ Cool. So the first person that I seen that was one of my earlier musical influences to become a DJ was a guy named Maniac McLeod. That used to play at a club that used to be in DC, Northwest DC, called The Room, which is the club that I later played in starting in 1982. Wow. So I started as a DJ in 1977, though.
1977. So your first DJ experience, tell me about that. Was that at a party? You know, was it at a club? Where was it?
I would say we were doing events. I was working with a mobile disco company called the Sound Service. Shout out to Dr. Ashton Greaves. And he was the one that owned the Sound Service. And he would kind of contract us out, me and a couple other guys, because he had multiple, you know, setups that he had. And he would contract us out to do different events. And so I started with him in 1977. I did that for 2 years, being a mobile DJ. And then I got my first job in a club in 1979 at a place called the Paragon 2. Shout out to my man Richard Jefferson for that.
Wow, you know, back in the day, DJs wasn't really the main attraction. The main attraction was usually who the DJs bought out. But you changed the game. You know, you're one of many who changed the game, and people now go to shows. Case in point, we just came off a great tour with New Edition, and even though people were there to see the show, you had the party going on out there in the Coliseums. Everybody was pumped up in the Coliseum, so there was a show before the show. So talk to me about the importance of the role of being a DJ.
You the guy that keep the ball rolling, keep the party going. You know what I mean? It's all up to you. You got a bunch of people standing out there in front of you that want to be entertained, and you have to be able to entertain them. You got to be able to get their attention, and you got to be able to move them around in that room in any direction you want them to go in. But to be able to do that, you you have to be a student of the game. You got to master your craft, and that
Mhm.
means practice, practice, and more practice.
Yes, indeed. Now, there's a brother that I had on here earlier that is from the DC area, and I'm not sure if you recognize him. He has some history with you. What One of the things I was going to do on Instagram is I had some people that really knew of you. They wanted to give you your flowers, and that was a part of the whole thing. So we're going to deviate a little bit, and I want to bring him on. He goes by the name of Big Phil Speaks. And I don't know if you recognize this man, but I want to bring him up for a minute because he has some history with you, and I want to allow him to bring it back to your remembrance. Big Phil, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. DJ Cool, salute.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it.
Uh, I don't know if you want me to go ahead on in on it. We, at a time, you managed a group that included my best friend. He was a couple years older than me. There was four individuals, as far as my recollection. One of them being a brother that turned out to be the Stone Cold Hustler, DC Scorpio. Uh, Ugo, which went by MC Supreme. Easy G, I think that's what he went by, Garvin, and my best friend, which was Eddie Beat, Edward Brown, or whatever he goes by, Ja Preem now. I think they were called IPB, International Party Blasters, many moons ago, or whatever. And then more recently, 2015, I did a event up at the Eclipse with the brother Worm. It was an 80s throwback go-go, Trouble Funk,
Wow.
Junkyard Air Raid with yourself. I know you've done a multitude of parties since then, but part of my promotional days, I guess you could say, or whatever. So I said, yeah, we had strange history, not strange, but yeah, certain circles or whatever
So,
that intertwine at times.
so let
Hmm.
me ask you something. When you did that monumental event, what was it about DJ Cool that made you say, I need DJ Cool for this event out of all the DJs?
Well, we were doing an 80s throwback go-go, and DJ Cool is synonymous to DC, just like Chuck Brown is. For those that know who Chuck Brown, the Godfather of Go-Go, is. And me and Worm was like, who could we get? And we both said it at the same time, DJ Cool. And Worm had the end. Worm had the end with DJ Cool. So it all made sense or whatever. And it was a wonderful night, wonderful party, wonderful get together. If y'all weren't there, you missed one. You know, that's a fact of Mundo. But yeah, Worm kind of alley ooped the situation. We had a wonderful situation, but DJ Cool been ringing bells for years since I was a peon, so to speak. Because I'm a few years younger than him, and like I said, my best friend was a couple years older than me, so that gives you a little what you call it.
Thank you to all
I'm
those
sorry,
out
we
there
have a
that know.
bad echo going on right now, and I don't know why.
You can hear it. Is it me?
Well, I have a delay going on, and then I hear echo going on from you all.
Let me see.
Let me
We'll
see
make sure
something
that
here. Just a moment.
All right.
make sure the echo goes away. Now, let me ask you a question, DJ Cool. What is it that makes you different than all the other DJs? When you come, besides your humility, and it's like you make a person forget about their troubles and do everything. When they come to the party, I don't party anymore. Okay, let me just tell you, I don't party anymore. But when I went to the Soul Picnic on this past Saturday, I cut up when you got on that turntable. I cut up. You made me forget about everything. And every time you played the song, you just took me back to a time where, you know, it was a happy time. And so is that a part of your mission? Is that, I mean, what is it that you aim to do when you get on that stage and you get out there with that crowd?
I mean, I just want everybody to have a good time. Um, I've always tried to be the type of DJ that I would like to see if I came to a party or an event. I want somebody up there turning up. Somebody that's gonna make me want to turn up. So, you know, I'm just trying to trade energies back and forth. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. And DJ Cool inspired other DJs in the DC area. One, I think, who kind of really grabbed hold of DJ Cool's style, the homie Flex.
Oh yeah,
He definitely came out of your school. The funk regulator CeeLo, another one.
yeah.
I
You got
know
DJ Dirty Rico. Uh,
Rico. That's a fact. Yeah,
Most recently, DJ Quicksilver.
that's a
But
fact.
the thing is, like people like CeeLo and Quicksilver and all of those, like I think I inspired them indirectly. I know I inspired Rico directly. I actually had my hands on them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's surprising to me, and it's very humbling to me to hear somebody with the skill set of a DJ CeeLo or the skill set of a DJ Quicksilver say that I was one of their earliest influences to do, you know, what they're doing now. I mean, Quicksilver has said this to me numerous amounts of time.
That's a fact.
Wow.
So it's humbling.
That's a fact.
Now, before we ran into everything on Instagram, before we came over here, we were talking about the ladies. We were talking about how there were some women that helped to set the trend for this hip hop. You know, out of all the women, which one stands out the most in your mind when it comes to this 50 years of celebrating hip hop, DJ Cool?
I mean, we need to go back. We need to go back to Sha Rock.
I said it. Shout out. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we need to go. We need to start with her first, and then move up. There's been a lot of them. And then if you want to talk about female hip hop groups, we want to start with probably the Mercedes ladies or either the Sequence
That's the sequence. Yeah,
before Salt and Pepper.
that's a fact.
You know, the Sequence first Salt and Pepper.
Angie Stone was a part of that, correct?
Exactly. And her sister is Blondie
Mm.
of Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper wrote a lot of them Sugar Hill gang songs back in the day. They was writing for Sugar Hill Records. A lot of people don't know that.
Mm.
So I got
Wow.
a song called What the Hell You Come In Here For? I sampled the Sequence 1, 2, 3, 4. What the hell you come in
Come
here
in.
for? That was from their record.
Oh wow, wow.
Now, some people really don't know and understand what hip hop is. In your definition, what is hip hop?
I mean, I don't know, man. Something that was created grassroots. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know, man. A lot of us was in schools beating on tables and whatnot. And Cass was beatboxing. Shout out to Dougie Fresh and Biz
Fact.
Marquis
Bismarck.
and a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know, man. Just kind of making a way out of no way, just showing our creativity. You know what I mean? Um, I guess that's one of the best ways that I could describe it. You know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know, man, just us being us. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Especially people of color. We're very, very creative musically and
That's a fact.
artistically. You know what I mean? And so it's just something that we create on our own.
That's a fact.
It's definitely a style of, you know, culture. And so when we think about hip hop, there's a couple of elements that come to my mind. I think of MCing, I think of DJing, I think of breakdancing, graffiti, and I think of beatboxing. Those are the things
That's
that
it.
come to my mind when it comes to hip hop. And back in the day, a lot of people saw it as a negative way, because they didn't understand it. But it's a way of communication. So many people told their story in hip hop, you know.
Hmm.
And when I think about people like
Positively
your Run
and
DMCs and
negatively,
everything, yes, sir.
That's a fact.
So
Yeah.
believe it
do
or
you?
not. But I think a lot of the stuff that you heard that was probably thought to be negative for a lot of people, they were just telling their actual stories, like
Mhm.
what they seen as soon as they opened the front door. Somebody coming up in I don't know, in LA, in Compton, back in the days, with all with a lot of stuff that was going on with the gang culture and
Mhm.
police brutality and all that other kind of stuff. When you talking about a group like NWA, them dudes was talking about what they was seeing, that after police stuff and all that, they went through that.
That's a fact.
So, that might be negative to some folks, but for them, that's everyday life in South Central LA.
So let me ask you this: what do you feel as though it's older, hip hop or rap?
Rap,
That's a fact.
So is
yeah,
rap an ingredient of hip hop?
definitely, definitely. Shout out to DJ Hollywood,
Hmm.
okay? But before DJ Hollywood, you can go back to Cab Calloway with the
Scatting
call
and
and response.
on a response. Yeah, yeah.
Hottie, 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 ha. Hottie, 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 ha. Hottie, hottie, ho. You know what I mean? You can, you can go to Picnic Markham. Here come the
Mm,
judge.
Now, right
And
now
a
we
lot of
have a
things.
person that
it's a
is
fact.
really bringing a lot of attention to rap right now, and that's LL Cool J with his movement. Are you familiar with the movement he has going on right now?
Somebody rock the bells.
Yes, yes.
Yes, definitely. I mean, that's him. You know what I mean? That's him. He is hip hop. Period. So shout out to LL. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Big Daddy Kane has now been made a part of the Rock the Bell situation, and it's in good hands.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people think they only look like us, but I remember the first rapper that didn't look like us, like Vanilla Ice.
You gotta go
Was he the
further back
first?
with him.
Would you
Well,
say
Yeah,
he
go.
was the first?
nah, no, 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 no. You got a lot of cats, Puerto Rican cats and whatnot. Look, Fearless Four. You know what I mean? What was my man? The Mighty Tito. I think that's what he called himself. He was a Fearless Four, I believe. Puerto Rican.
And Charlie Chase. Yeah, yeah.
A lot of Puerto Rican cats in New York that had a whole lot to do with hip hop back in the day. Now, as far as
Yeah.
white folks is concerned, maybe
Wow.
Yeah.
Vanilla Ice. Vanilla
These.
Ice is a good friend of mine. I tour with Ice a lot in the summertime. We travel with a company called Universal Attractions, and we do a thing called Out of the 90s.
Okay.
So I rock with Ice a lot. Um, I'm not sure if Ice was the first
I think the
Caucasian
Beastie Boys.
rapper. Now,
I
he
think.
might have been the first one to blow the way that he did.
Mm,
The first one, I think, Ice sold Diamond, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, yeah. I think he might have been the one to get that like you said, to blow up. Yeah, because I think Beastie
Right. The first
came.
mainstream.
Yeah.
The first. But now here's the interesting thing. I'm from Jamaica, Queens. I was born and raised in Harlem, but then I moved to Jamaica, Queens. And I know back in 1971 in the Bronx, there was a man that got a name similar to you that had a lot to do with the beginning of that rap industry, and that was Cool Herc.
Yep, DJ Cool Herc, which
Right.
is a lot of
You
people
know,
mistake me in him, but I say I'm a better looking man than he is, so I'm not. Now, shout out to Cool Herc, man. That's my guy.
Shout out to Cool Herc.
Um, as a matter of fact, congratulations to DJ Cool Herc on his induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, yeah. That's big. That's huge.
And
And
somebody
it's
said we
kind of
had.
crazy. Here's a funny story. Probably about a couple of weeks back, I was in the airport. I think I was in New York. I don't know. And this white guy came up to me like I have my logo on me a lot when I'm out with my tour jackets and things. And this white guy came up to me and said, "Man, congratulations on your induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame." And I was like, "Oh, hey, thank you." You know what I mean? So I was trying to catch my flight anyway, but I didn't think about it. I say that damn fool thought I was cool with her. So God bless him. Maybe he's speaking something into existence. I receive that. You know what I mean?
Pay attention
to the W. Pay
Yeah.
attention.
Now, in 1996, your single, Let Me Clear My Throat. Man, oh man, oh man. That thing hit the billboards. Talk about that for a minute. What was that like? I mean, that right there, did you expect all that when you made that record?
Not at all. Um, I've been making records since '86. I was the first one to come out of our region in 1986 to hit the Billboard charts with hip hop with a
That's a
song
fact.
called "The Music Ain't Loud Enough."
Bump up the volume.
Okay.
That's a fact.
And had a bunch of joints in different places up and down the Billboard charts from '86 all the way up to '96. But when that bomb dropped in '96, I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean? But I like to tell people that the song "Let Me Clear My Throat" is deeply rooted in what hip hop is: two turntables and a microphone. And the fact that hip hop started at the party. And "Let Me Clear My Throat" ain't nothing but the party, the DJ, the MC, and the crowd.
That's a
That's
fact.
all it is. You're using the classic hip hop breakbeat, the 900 number by DJ Mark 45 King.
Mm.
And you got the art of call and response going on. It's live, which I got from Go-Go. So
Wow.
like all the math was mathing when I put that thing together.
So now you've been doing this thing a long time. What can we expect next? I mean, you've been DJing for how many years?
Since 1977. And been an artist since
And so
1986.
and you don't have no intention on stopping.
No, I tell people all the time, I'm going out like Chuck Brown.
Yeah.
That's just the way I feel about it. I'm taking this to my grave. Whenever my time of transition comes, I'm taking this all the way. I want this hat to be on my head, rock and roll just like this. When I'm laid out, you know what I mean? Because I do this for my city, I do this for hip hop, and I do this for go-go.
That part.
And I do this for God.
That part.
That's it.
That part.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And you make that known, and that's the beautiful thing about it. And what I love about it is you still use the turntables, because you have some DJs now, they don't use turntables anymore.
I mean, I use various different pieces of equipment. What I mean, depending on what the situation is. Just like when you see me out there this past weekend, I had a controller, but it was a pretty elaborate setup. But then sometimes if you see me inside, well, let's put it this way: I'm not using turntables with needles on them anymore.
Right.
I'm using something that looks like a turntable without a needle on. It's the same size. And for all the DJs out there listening, I use Rain 12s sometimes. Okay. So that's closest as you're going to get to an actual Technics turntable. But I have been able to shift gears and adjust with the technology. But I tell people all the time, a lot of people think just because you can get a laptop and get a music program like Serato or something like that you can be a DJ. That's not true, because those programs aren't playing music for you. Those programs aren't selecting songs for you. Those programs cannot help you read a room and figure, which direction you're going to take these people. Going back to what you were talking about earlier when you were talking about you seen me on the New Edition tour last year, I did 30 dates on that tour. I did the whole tour. I did 30 different arenas across the country. I was able to shift gears every night in every region that I was in to play the music that fits for that region. For an example, when you're in New York, they don't want to hear what's going on in Memphis. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
When you're in DC, they don't necessarily want to hear what's going on in LA.
That's a fact.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm in Chicago. All right, I got a few joints off, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna get into this classic Chicago house music set and flip this place upside down. So you gotta know how to shift gears when you go from region to region.
Yeah, that's a
And that's
fact.
where a lot of DJs fail at. When they get outside of their region, they don't know how to shift gears. So you gotta know how to do that. So
And I personally think that's what sets you apart and into the upper echelon with other such DJs like Kid Capri and different other ones that can go from different places and still rock the party as if it was their natural home spot. And that's what makes y'all super dope for me. I'm not sure what happened with her live or whatever, but until she comes back, I would love for you to answer this question because DC at the time, you was called a Bama if you was trying to rap or do certain things that had something to do with hip hop.
yeah, I
And then
know.
finally it was embraced. And what is your take on why the local music scene for DC hasn't blossomed the way that a lot of other scenes have? Because we have everything that everybody else got, except for a couple key things.
DC is a live music town. Always have been, always will be. Even before go-go. Always been a live music town. When I was coming through as a DJ and then started doing this hip-hop thing and whatnot, well, if you remember, hell, I brought the go-go with me.
That's a fact.
With Music Ain't Loud Enough.
That's a fact.
The beats that I used for the bed of that song was the Cabbage Patch by EU.
Yeah.
That was the intro of an EU record. I used the first 4 bars and I looped it. And then I put the samples on top of that. So that's when the hip-hop go-go thing I'm blending together. So I'm like, I'm gonna get you one way or the other. I'm gonna get y'all DC people on this hip-hop stuff. I'm gonna get y'all hip-hop people on this go-go stuff. That was my whole plan. Because I'm a DJ. Right? So I one half of me grew up in the hip-hop culture. The other half of me grew up in go-go culture.
That's a fact. And you did it masterfully. You've done it masterfully. I ain't gonna say did it because your reign ain't over. You still doing you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You still doing you.
Yeah.
And when I had you for the show, 2015.
I was going to ask you if there's anybody out here who wants to become a DJ, what advice would you give them? I heard what you said about what they can't do, but if they're just starting out, would you say that it would be a recommended career? Would you recommend DJing as a career?
Definitely. But there's only 2 ways you can go about it. It's either it's going to be a hobby to you or you're going to make it your life. Now, me personally, I don't care which way you go. But I just want you to know that I decided in the very beginning that I was going to make it my life. I've never thought any way differently.
Wow.
I became a DJ to use that as a stepping stone to becoming an artist. That's what I did. I made records to separate myself from all the other DJs in my area. That's what I did.
Yeah. And back in the day, they were mixing and doing all that. They don't mix a lot like back in the day. They would, they could scratch a record.
Some do, but some don't. You know what I mean? But I would say if you want to become a DJ, other than the first two things that I said, once you finally make that decision, you got to study your craft. And you have to study your craft to the point where you master your craft. You need to be good enough to where you can teach somebody.
Pass it
If
along.
somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because I tell people all the time, you could do something, right, and probably be pretty good at it. But if I ask you, man, how you do that? And you can't tell me what you just did, then you don't really know what you're doing. You're mimicking what you saw.
Mm.
And you practice, right? But you still, for you still don't know what you're doing. But if you can
Wow.
teach me that, and you know what you're doing, and you've mastered your craft.
Yes.
And that's
So
the
DJ
difference.
Cool, what is something
That's what
people?
separates amateur night from the pros.
Wow.
I can
Excuse me, I
teach
didn't
it
mean to cut you off.
because I know music theory and everything. I know about song arrangement, music, all of it. And that's why I'm able to produce and all of that. So going back to when you were saying about me being able to put this song together masterfully, well, I studied music. You know what I'm saying? We had music in the DC public school system back when I was coming up,
That's a fact.
right? So I know how many beats there are in a bar of music and all of those kind of stuff, you know.
Wow, somebody said shout out to Big G, nonchalant. Nonchalant. What's that? 5 o'clock in the
In the
morning. Where you
morning,
gonna
where you
be?
gonna
Yes,
be?
Outside
indeed.
on the
That's
corner.
baby sis right
Woo!
there. Yes, indeed.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, that was it. We brought her here to North Carolina when she first came out.
Hmm.
Black Indian. So many people,
Rest
rest
in
in
peace.
peace to
Yes.
so many people.
Rest in peace. Yeah, fact.
Yes. They named quite a bit, Shy, Glizzy, all of those people. And a lot of people have a lot of respect for the hip hop, I'm excited to see what the different cities and states are doing this year as the 50th year after they did that and they started that, that was the beautiful thing. We're actually doing something here in the capital city in August where they're recognizing hip hop. So it's exciting, and I think it's going to make people look at it differently. So, what's something that people don't know about you, DJ Cool? When you're not DJing, what's your hobby? Do you skate? I mean,
Sports, man. I
do you
love
sing?
sports. 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 I,
Who's your team? Who's your
He
team?
said, let's be clear.
exactly. All Washington-based teams,
Washington.
which is a little trying time for us right now, especially with our football team. But I think we'll get through this.
Wow. So, are
Early
you
on,
single?
I was an LA Lakers fan, though. I was a fan of the Showtime Lakers.
Magic in them.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Magic, Worthy, Kareem. That's a big three right there.
That part. Yeah, yeah.
So let me ask you this in case there's any women out there want to know: Are you single or are you taken?
I'm single. I'm taken by my daughter.
Okay, okay.
That's it.
Does she have you wrapped around her finger?
Yep.
Lord, I know the feeling. Trust me.
That Phil, that sounds like you, right?
Yes, Lord.
Definitely, because I know she got you wrapped around your fingers too.
Well,
And
see, our
so,
daughters need more fathers like us to keep them off of stripper poles, to keep them off of pimp's corners,
That part.
to keep them out of crack houses
That part.
and trap houses and all of that.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
yes, yes,
That's a fact.
yes.
They
And
they need fathers like us to make sure that they fulfill their real roles in life, which is being the queen, the mothers, and the teachers of this universe. Because it all starts with the woman. I couldn't have got here if it wasn't for a woman.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
now let me ask you this: what message do you have to the younger generation? Because when we came up, we had the blue light basement party. We partied. We had a good time. We had a good time this past weekend because it was grown folk. But sometimes the younger crowd, they kind of getting out of hand. They taking lives, and it's not just a party anymore. What is the message you would like to send to them? Because the partying is getting a little out of hand, and sometimes people are losing their life.
It's a lot of layers to that onion right there. Um, to me, I think this generation nowadays, and this is my little opinion, they lack real love in their life.
Mm.
They don't like if you don't have love in your life, and you don't know what empathy is. So you could go out here and just take somebody's life, and it don't mean no more than you stepping on a bug or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think we need to get a hold of a lot of these kids whenever we get an opportunity and love on them and let them know that people care about them because a lot of them don't have that at home, and a lot of their parents didn't have that
At home. That's a fact.
at home. And then
I
you
like.
got the babies making babies thing, which is the blind leading the blind thing
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yes.
going on. So
Yes.
once again, there's a lot of layers to this onion that you know what I'm saying, that you're looking at when you start talking about stuff like that. It's a lot.
Now, do you think the lyrics and the music contribute to it?
For some, a lot of that music is what they call very low vibrational music. If you really want to get real deep with it, you know what I mean? Um, and a lot of these damn labels keep pushing this music and keep pushing these foolish narratives in this music. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep our young ones dumbed down and to keep them vibrating real low. If you
Mm-hmm.
notice, you can't dance to none of that music.
That's right.
And that's
We
why
make
the young
music you could
lives
dance
that.
to.
That's a fact. Yeah.
They
That's
don't even. They
true.
ain't even really in the clubs like 18 to probably 25. Show me where the dance floor is in that club.
Right.
It ain't no dance floor in there. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lounge now, and the dance floor is the phone.
The selfies. The yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
That's their
Right.
dance floor. That ain't
Mm-hmm.
no
Yeah.
damn party. That's a photo session.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right. Phil, you have a question you want to ask him?
um it's just so much history I know lies right here with him. And I'm 50. I just made 50 in December. I know you got a few on me, you know what I'm saying? As far
I'm
as the
65.
exactly. So you've seen a little bit more in the transition of DC and hip hop elsewhere. Um, and furthering what you were saying about our youth needing love or whatever, I always tell people I believe it heavily changed during the crack era. Heavily changed. Like we've always had certain things in certain situations before that, but it really got destroyed for our communities
Hmm.
with that level. And the music has always been reflective of everything going on. Nowadays, it's a little bit different. Um, it's machismo, but it's in a different light. It's me, but it's how can I put it? When back in the days, the drug dealer was celebrated. Not saying that was a good thing or the right thing, but now the user is celebrated. Using is celebrated, and it's crazy. Um, with you traveling the world and you seeing multitude of cultures of people that appreciate music and your masterfulness on the turntables, etc. What advice would you give to the local inner city youth from DC, from New York, from Compton, from Texas, from Florida? What advice would you give them as far as the bigger scope and the bigger picture of what's out there? Because some of us get so tribal, we get caught off in tribalism where it's our block, it's our hood, it's our area. Like
And
that's
it ain't.
that part. That part. Could you expound on that a little bit?
Man, it's like you got to think outside of the box. I guess that's the best term to use.
Mm-hmm.
If you think local, your ass gonna be local.
That part. That
Yes.
part.
I ain't never thought local. And I love home.
That's a
I don't
fact.
want to live nowhere else.
I take it everywhere I go. You hear me?
Okay? But I ain't never thought local. It ain't no money local.
Local.
That's why I'm trying to get these go-go fans to make records, make big
Original
records,
music.
and get
Original.
the hell out of here. Because it ain't no money here. All these bands and what, 5 clubs? You know what I mean? Ain't no
Yeah,
money.
that's a fact.
It's only a couple bands getting the money. And I'm affiliated with one of them, and they red and white, so you already know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
already. Yes, yes, Lord.
Big Bad R.E. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to White Boy
Yeah, yeah. Shout out
and
to
the
White
whole Rasmus family.
Old and New.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Big G and Backyard.
Big
They
G.
killing it right now.
That's a fact.
You see? But it's, and shout out to Bear. Shout out to Sugar Bear.
Sugar, yeah, he's still
Sugar
doing
Yes.
Bear still working, you know what I'm saying? You know, Big Tony and Trouble Punk, they get in when they can, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying all that to say this. It ain't no money here, man.
It's
Not
DC's
no
only 11
real
square
money.
miles. DC's 11 square miles.
Right? You fighting over all these little clubs and whatnot. Ain't that many people get in them clubs like that. And if you ain't this band or this band, then for real, the rest of y'all getting the crumbs.
That's a fact.
There's
That's a
so
fact.
many bands here. They got so much talent. And they know
Uber
who they
talent.
are because I'm always in their face, man. When y'all going to the studio, they know who they are. I ain't gonna call their names. I ain't gonna put them on blast like that, but they know that I will because I care. Because I know they can do it. I know they got the talent to do it.
That
But I
part.
think a lot of them have gotten very complacent.
There you go.
A lot of them got government jobs. A lot of them have gotten frustrated. And I get it. So, you know, but still, I mean, don't stop trying, man, because you never know.
That part. That part. And
And I have a question. What about the parents? Some of the parents used to be fearful when their children wanted to be in this industry, when they want to be a rapper, when they want to be a DJ, they don't see a future in that. What do you say to the parents?
I mean, just support them, support the kids. If you find out that they really want to do this for real, put your hand in their back and push them. Because you don't know, you know what I mean? You don't know who that child could become,
that's a fact.
you
So you
know? Supposing, I don't know, Jay-Z mother or Beyonce's mother and father, you know what I'm saying? Or anybody like that say, Mom, don't do that. Then
yeah.
we would have never had them people. Supposing Stevie Wonder's parents said that. Supposing Michael Jackson's parents did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or, no. So, nah, if your child shows uh, a genuine interest in something like that in the arts, put your
Or
hand in their back and push them and guide them in the right direction and show them how to do it the right way to the best of your ability.
that
And make
part.
sure they got God in their life and take all their instructions from Him.
That part.
Mhm.
So when you do stop, and I know you said you're gonna take it to the grave, you are not
He
going
ain't
to
gonna
stop.
be here
When you
no
do
more.
stop, when you stop, whether it's because you can no longer move, you don't have mobility, what do you want the people to say about the legendary DJ Cool?
That I gave it all that I had, man.
Mhm.
I left it on the stage. I left it on the dance floor.
Mm.
And I tried to do it the right way by being respectful and just trying to be a good person. You know, I heard Jay Electronica saying a song that he heard a Muslim brother say, you either here to build or destroy. I feel like I'm here to build.
Mm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we appreciate you for everything that you have been doing to build. Because I noticed every time I've been in the show that you've been on, it's always positivity. You're always encouraging, and you're always just trying to remind people about, how good the music can make us feel. And like I said, music for a lot of people, when they come out, they're trying to release some stress. They're trying to, forget something and just have a good time. And you always help them to do that. And I appreciate that. And you always show your gratitude. And so you never forgot the people that helped you get there. So we thank you for that.
I
So I don't want to
appreciate it.
keep
I
you
mean,
much
I feel
longer.
like that's what you're supposed to do. Don't
Yes, sir.
nobody get there by itself.
Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean? And also, I just had an interview probably about an hour before I did this one. Matter of fact, no, about 30 minutes before I did this one. And one of the things that I said in that interview was that I look up to my supporters. I look up to them because if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be no DJ Cool. If it wasn't for them and if it wasn't for the grace of God, it wouldn't be no DJ Cool. Whereas a lot of people that are in my industry, they look down on their supporters or their fans or whatever you want. I like to say supporters. I don't like to use the word fan. But they look down on them, which is crazy to me. I know some people in this business that I'm like, yo, like for real, like that's like you feel like that for real, like, and you think you're gonna wind up all right?
Mm. Mm.
I see a lot of these cats running around here thinking that they blessed, but the devil can bless you too.
That part, I say that all.
But you gonna pay for that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I don't want
Yes.
the devil to bless me.
Yes.
Mm-mm. I
And
want the
thank you
one
for
that I
being
make my
that
prayer
light.
to every
Yes.
day. Bless me. I don't
That
want the
part.
devil to bless me. See, and a lot of these cats, they think they're getting off right now. Okay. But see, when it happens, it's gonna happen. And you're gonna be sitting there screaming to the top of your lungs, standing right next to somebody, and they're not gonna be able to hear you.
Mm.
And I know
So
that
that's
I
just me.
hate to
I mean,
talk.
I can't speak on everybody else, but that's what my head at and my heart.
There's a lot going on in the world
100 though.
today. We got smog and we got smoke all over the place, and from what happened in Canada, and we had technical difficulty because there's some stuff going on. So we need to have that foundation. We need to stay prayed up because we can't control what happened in the airwaves today. I know some people are telling me they can't see me. Remember, your screen was black. Now they're telling me my screen is black. That's not us. That's what's happening out there in the universe. So that's why we
Mm-hmm.
have to keep this positivity going. So I truly
Mm-hmm.
want to thank you for your patience tonight and for all that you have shared with us and everything that you do. What next for DJ Cool? Anything coming up that you want to tell the people about, where you're going to be, or any special projects?
Next Saturday, I'm doing something that's gonna be real dope in Atlantic City. Shout out to Charlie Mack, who I call the Mr. Philadelphia. That's what we call him that day. He's doing an event called Mixtape Live, and it's going to be 50 hip hop artists from the 70s, 80s, and the 90s.
Wow.
DJ Jazzy Jeff is going to be the DJ for it. Dougie Fresh is going to be the MC. DJ Red Alert will be there. My very dear friend, DJ Red Alert. Who I like to call the Queen of Philadelphia, or Philly's finest, Lady B, will be there. A lot of heads. There's going to be a lot of surprise guests coming up in there. So that's going to be next Saturday, Juneteenth weekend at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City.
Boardwalk Hall.
Okay. Any merchandise or anything that you want to tell the people about that they can purchase for you, or go stream your music or anything like that? And how can they follow you, or how can they book you?
Well, you can book me at this number. I'm going to say it twice. 215 517-788-1215. 517-7881. Ask for Walt, WALT, Jr. at Big Block. Block spelled BLOC, Entertainment. All right. I do a broadcast on a platform called GoGo Radio Live TV every Tuesday from 7 to 9. Shout out to Nico Hobson,
Nico.
who is the HNIC of that situation. And I play 80s and 90s go-go for 2 hours. Every Tuesday, I call it DJ Cool's Tuesday Night Turn-Up broadcast.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
80s and 90s go-go. So I'm playing everything from Chuck Brown to Backyard.
And that's on YouTube?
Well, you can see it on YouTube TV, obviously Facebook and Twitch, and a bunch of other streaming platforms. It's on iHeartRadio. I'm working on trying to get it to run it through Rock the Bells through Sirius XM, so I'm working on that one.
That would be dope.
But we are on other TV platforms. It's on Hulu, I think. No, Roku, no Hulu. And a few other platforms. Every Tuesday, 7 o'clock.
Wow. Well, we appreciate you. We thank you so much for taking the time and for being patient with everything. Phil, I thank you so much for coming through too. We want to respect your time because we know we've been trying to go at this for about 2 hours with all the technical difficulties and everything. And we once again, we just appreciate you because you are a positive light. You know, you don't have no shame in letting people know about God in your life. You know, you don't have any problem with being humble and thanking the people. You haven't forgotten where you came from. I mean, you're just blessed, you know, and we appreciate you. We see you. We wanted to honor you and let you know that. And we sincerely wish you the best. And as long as you playing that music, we're going to be out there dancing to it and listening to it. That's for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was told, well, I don't know. A lot of people don't know here or may not know. I was inducted to the Hip Hop Hall of Fame here in 2019.
Nice.
Universal Hip Hop Museum. And now I was just told this year that I will be inducted into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, Universal Hip Hop Museum in New York next year.
Dope.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved. And
I'm taking Go-Go with me too.
You hear me?
Yes. That needs to be done on a national scale so it represents you all over. So we appreciate that for sure. Phil, any last words you'd like to say to DJ Cool?
Just, man, it's a pleasure. It's an honor. One of my homies said to give you your flowers while you're here. That's what we should do. And if there was a walk of fame that they had for DC, we all know Chuck Brown going to be the first one. But I think you might be number 2, if not 3, that need to be on there. You hear me?
Hey, look, you got to go through James Funk, Lil Benny, Sugar Bear, Big Tony.
I know I'm starting something.
Maybe the first as a DJ, I don't know.
Yeah. But it's always love, like I said. Anytime I've been around you, it's been a pleasure. Like I said, I know you've done a multitude of events since mine. So, you know, you may or may not even remember, but you always been down to earth and cool. And even back in the day, my homie used to have kind words about you in, you know, y'all situation, you know, many moons ago or whatever. And I want you to keep on pushing. And I want to see a mega documentary. The music ain't loud enough.
We're working on some things right now. As a matter of fact, I'm actually working on 2 situations. Tomorrow, shout out to Angie Ann. She's one of the big bosses up at WHUR TV now.
Okay.
I'm working on a documentary that's going to be shown through, I guess, WHUT TV or what have you. So we start shooting that tomorrow. And then I'm also working with some people from TV One. Shout out to my man, Jamani Torrance, down in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're working on another documentary on me that they're going to shoot it to Unsung and to Netflix.
Okay.
So we got a sizzle reel done for the Unsung joint already. We just trying to find a good time to finish it up. So.
Okay.
Yeah, your documentary would be very well, viewed. I mean, everybody would definitely watch that. A lot of people would appreciate that. I think it's definitely one that needs to be done, for sure. You definitely need to have a documentary on the book somewhere.
I'm sorry, what part? This is just a sidebar. What part of the Carolinas are you from?
I'm right here with Special G, right here in Raleigh.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Shout out to
I'm right here
Special
with
G.
Special G, Dynasty 5, all of them. Yeah, last time,
Yes,
like I said, we
yes.
was in Raleigh.
Special
I
G
was
is
there with
one of
you.
my dear friends. I'm surprised I didn't see him this weekend.
Yeah, you know what? It was a lot going on. We had the Bimbe Festival. We had a lot
Right.
happening. I'm surprised I didn't see Gary neither. We go way back. He was one of my DJs here in Raleigh that when I partied back in Plum Crazy and Trimmers and all those spots.
Yes. Woo, talk about it. Yes.
Yeah. So he was the man. He was the big DJ
Some
here.
good clubs.
Yes.
I first met DJ Nabs.
Yes.
What was the name of that club? Was it Trimmers?
Trimmers. Trimmers, Plum Crazy. We Raleigh got some good clubs. I have to say, we definitely shut it down. They, it was quite a bit. Lewis Cade. I don't know if you remember Lewis Cade,
Yes.
the
Yes.
manager. Yeah, so everybody knew Lewis, so that was it. But listen, man, we'll see you the next time you come through here. Shout out to Dynasty 5
Yes.
for an amazing event that they did this past weekend, bringing you there for the Soul Picnic. That was amazing. It was just a beautiful scene. Everybody was out there. The go-go
I hate
bands,
that I
all of
missed
the
Lil
artists.
Mo. I didn't even know she was there.
Yeah. They said she was there, but I didn't get there at 5:30, so I missed a lot of people because that venue, I had never been out there. That was an hour from Raleigh, to get
Okay.
out there to North Carolina. So that was a good way down. We had a nice little event here, Phil, this past weekend. It was really good. You ever come to Raleigh, you have to check it out.
You gotta let me know. I move around.
Dynasty
like
5, Dynasty 5, they do it big every time they do something here.
Feel that.
But hey guys, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna let y'all go. And thanks again for just giving me the opportunity to hear your story and to shine a light a little bit on the hip hop and what's going on. They may contact you to come here because we are doing a big celebration in August. So don't be surprised if you don't get a phone call, DJ Cool, for what they got.
Yeah, they was talking about doing the Sheep Festival in Raleigh.
Yeah, they're doing a big ball, a sneaker ball, and they're honoring people for their contribution to hip hop. I'm actually one of the honorees. So they're going to be doing a big thing back because, like I said, back in the day in the 90s, I used to work with Nonchalant, Big L, and a lot of people through Sony and do some things with artists when they came through here. So, we're going to have a big celebration. So I'm pretty sure they'll probably be reaching out to you because they can't do that and not have you be a part of it. That's for sure.
Okay, well,
but we want to say
tell
thank
them
you for
I say what's
everybody who
up.
came through.
Say holla.
Yeah, thank you for everybody who came through to the live, everybody who was over there on Instagram, the Facebook people and the YouTube people. We appreciate you guys. Follow DJ Cool if you're not following him. You heard what he said on Tuesday, 7 or 9 p.m. Check him out. Big Phil, tell them how they can reach you.
Anywhere and everywhere. Big Phil speaks. You know how I do. Come through and holler at your boy. I'm around. You hear me?
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching Story Times where people connect. My mission is to stir up the gift, instill hope, and save lives. My name is Crystal Bodie Smith. You can follow me at Shout Crystal. I want to thank you, and we'll be back on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. All right. Y'all have a blessed evening. Thank you so much. Be safe.
Be blessed.
And don't forget to keep hope alive and
Yes,
tell somebody
indeed.
you love them today.
That part
All
there.
right. Good night, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.